Hello, and a big welcome to all of you out there who are listening and see this podcast today. We have a special guest from Pennsylvania. Welcome to you, Iolanda Logan. So nice to see you.
Same here. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we were just talking a little about you when we started here, but please tell us about how you started with horses, how you get into all this that you are in today.
Absolutely. So I am Blue Moon Equestrian in Pennsylvania, in the United States. Second generational. My father started this about 50 plus years ago in Hilltown, Pennsylvania. So we've expanded. He started with his father. So both my grandparents immigrated from Italy
Mhm.
and got into horses at that point. And originally started with quarter horses. So he would breed and train quarter horses. He showed all over the East Coast. He won the World Show in 1989. And as a little girl, he took me all over the shows with him. I got to experience all that. And then I started my apprenticeship at 14 years old with my trainer. So she had me start with the toddlers. And I think that's where my love of it started. I specialize in extremely young, getting the foundation started. I teach 2.5 to, I think my oldest is, she'll kill me, but I'll probably say she's probably around 65. I won't tell her name though, so she won't be upset. Um, and so I started my apprenticeship and I started with the training of the horses. And then eventually, and I traveled all over different counties, training and teaching. And then eventually he left the quarter horse world and started with breeding and rehabbing thoroughbreds.
Mhm.
And then eventually I have two children. My oldest will be 15 and my youngest is 9. So I started doing teaching part-time and I had to get a corporate job to take care of my kids. And then 5 years ago, my corporate job went overseas and it was the perfect time to start anew. My father is aging. He's getting older. He's getting a little more tired.
Yeah.
And so I stepped in and took full-time ownership of the barn and doing my lessons. And it's grown since then. I have over 70 students. We have a veterans program. We do therapy with the veterans. We do a festival every year that's free to the community, and it's just to help the local businesses. So the artists, the crafters, the brick and mortar businesses, they come here and show what they have to offer and sell their goods. And they always sell. We do the lessons. We teach Western dressage, Western pleasure, hunters, jumpers, gymkhana, and even cart driving. We teach what we call a foundation. So it's from the ground up. So your horse will never be tacked up for you, never be able to you. We want these children to learn how to do all that on their own. We're supervised, of course, but we want them to really become horse wise, how to do everything, how to get independence, how to feel like competent and confident. That is our goal. And we have an educational competition team where it's like Horse Jeopardy Bowl. We do our own horse shows here where we're sponsored by Chewy and Carrots and other organizations and businesses to help us put on the shows. And then we also travel to about 4 or 5 outside school and shows here. So there's
Wow.
always something going on. There's always something going on. And
What
then
are you doing in your free time?
nothing. And then we also like I still help my father. He still continues to do the rehab and we still deliver the foals. So we're already prepping, getting the cameras ready because we put cameras on the mares and getting ready for that to start in April and March. And then we always have the rehabbers come in. So we do lasers. I don't know if you have something called the Beamer blanket in
Yes,
Hungary.
yes.
So we
Mhm.
love the Beamer blanket here. It's very
Yeah.
popular. We do the massage. We have several different vets that come in. And so we have that. And it's really great because we're big advocates for the barn. We call them barn rats here. So growing up, there was always kids in the barn, always. They'd be
Mhm.
dropped off in the morning, they get picked up at night. And unfortunately, a lot of barns here don't want that anymore. They
Oh.
want the kids in their lesson as soon as they get off, put the horse away and get out. And for us, So I don't want that. I want the kids to build those memories. 25 years later, 30 years later, I still see a lot of the barn rats just came to our festival we just had last week, all the originals. So 25, 30, 35 years ago, we still see them. We still communicate them. We're still in a relationship with them. Those are the best friendships you will ever have in your life.
Mm.
And they still support us. And that's what I want these kids to have. And they want to be taught. The most crazy, wildest, defiant child, if you get them a job, challenge them. That's what they want. They may act
Mm.
like they don't want that, but once they feel like, oh, I'm getting this independence, oh, they trust me enough to do this job, oh, that gives them a little fire. A lot of these people like to complain that the kids don't have any drive or they're too defiant, or because you got to be a little hard on them. You got to give them a test. You got to challenge them. They haven't been challenged. They've been coddled.
Mm.
And when you do that, it's like that light bulb goes off in them and then they're an entirely different child. So if you have to spend 30, 45 minutes, an hour teaching them how to do a job, even if it may not be perfect the first time, they're thriving for that responsibility. They want to have something of their own and have a goal, and half the time they're defiant is because there's so much garbage going on at school that
Mm.
when I was a kid, you left school, it was left at school. You got away from it.
Mm.
Here, they can't get away from it. There's computers and cell phones and Snapchats and TikToks, and they're always harassed. And I think that's where the angst, that's where the defiance comes from, because they don't know how to say, "Hey, I'm hurting. Hey, I'm bullied. Hey, I'm not thriving." And so that's what this place is. I want the kids when there's no school, half days, weekend, just come, hang out, do chores. And the rule is you don't need to be friends with everybody, but you need to be respectful.
Mm.
And that's what I really want. You do not have to be friends with everybody, but respect is respect. I don't care where you come from, what you believe in, who you are, but you respect everybody.
Mm.
And the kids are really, they're great with each other. And, seeing them together at any event, we do monthly movie nights. We put a big projector out on the barn and all the families get together, and just seeing all the kids just running around and all the parents get along and they all bring a dish. It's like a potluck, and it's just that community, that family that's really getting lost. That's what we're trying to build here.
Mm.
That's our
I
goal.
love it.
So,
Yeah. It sounds great. Sounds really great, like one big family.
hmm and like I said, I'm very blessed that this is my father's farm, and my husband works very hard. So we try to keep our prices as low as we can because we want to give the opportunity for these kids to get in the saddle. And we're currently working on a scholarship program where we want to give a scholarship to somebody in the community who cannot afford lessons to be able to be on the scholarship program and start getting involved. So we're currently working on building that up. So the children will write an essay. It has to be from the kids. If I see an adult handwrite, it has to be from the children. And I want to find out, why do they want to get involved? Why do they want horses? What would that do for them? And then we'll pick a winner and try to do a yearly scholarship for that. So
Yeah.
that's us. And
That's
then why I said, like we talked about earlier, trying to survive the 16 different weathers we get in Pennsylvania.
mm,
That's the
yeah.
hardest.
Tell us about it.
So I think in June we had 6 hailstorms, so bad that it literally left mounds of little hail pebbles everywhere and penetrated the metal roof. Last month or the month before, we got hit touchdown with a tornado, took out an entire fence line and the neighbors' houses. Their siding was in the field. You either get extreme heat or extreme flooding, and now we're in cold, which will be funny because right now it's freezing, and then probably around 3 o'clock we're going to be in t-shirts. So it's constantly monitoring colic signs and food, and we're dealing with a hay shortage here. A lot of hay got destroyed because of the weather, so a lot of people are going to different states or trying to find hay, and we're just squirreling it away like the ant and the grasshopper right now because the hay shortage has been really bad. The
Wow.
cost here has been really bad. Grain is up to like $35 for a bag of grain. And when we have
Wow.
40, 50 horses here, it adds up. And it's just me and my dad here trying to find, which I'm very blessed for the barn workers, but the daily Monday through Friday during the day, it's just me and him. And like I said, he is aging and slowing down. So it hits, but I love what I do. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Mm.
And I'd rather go to bed tired and exhausted doing what I love to do and seeing the changes in the kids and the adults and everything than just clocking in, showing up because I have to and leaving when I have to leave. Like I love what I do. My kids are involved and it just
Yeah.
makes it worth it all. It makes the tiredness worth it all. So
Sounds great, but not about the food. What are you doing with hay though, then?
well, because we do rehab, we have several different types of hay. So there's several different types of alfalfa, orchard grass, timothy. Um, so we have it all separated, and we're just constantly, whenever the farmer has it, because we have a huge hay loft, which we're very lucky to have. So we just
Okay.
constantly every time we find it, load up the hay loft, load up
Yeah.
the hay loft. But yeah, the weather really it took its toll on the hay farmers this year. So
Mm.
a lot of people started hobby barns and they're buying the wrong hay. When you have goats, they don't need the same type of hay that the horses need. So leave the horse hay alone. So but hopefully next year will be better and won't be as struggling. But yeah, the
Mm.
hay's been difficult for a lot of farmers in this area. A lot of the
Yeah.
hay farmers got hit hard. And a lot of it had to be thrown away. It wasn't even good enough to give to the cows. It was just with the
No.
humidity and the heat and then the wet, it just destroyed it.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it's devastating. It's the
yeah.
same. I think it was in Sweden. They also had a very rainy summer, and yeah, then the prices going up and up, and it's difficult to get food.
Yeah.
Here in Hungary, we are fortunate. We have a very good harvest this year.
I know
So
you're saying a lot of good things about Hungary weather. It's looking good. Ready to ship all the horses over there. Let's go
yes,
ahead over there.
sounds like that. That would be nice, but it's not every year because we have also years when it's very dry here and we don't get that much hay. But this year it had been good.
That's good. And the grain's been
Yeah.
okay for you?
Yes, yes. But how is it you're talking about all this bad weather? Is it like that always, or it's just
Yeah,
this year?
Pennsylvania is kind of known for that.
Hmm.
We're really known, especially East Coast Pennsylvania, we're known as like the fickle brain weather area. Because like I
Wow.
said, we could go from we're in full overalls, jackets, and by like 12 o'clock, we're in t-shirts. The next day it's hurricane rain. The next day it seems like Pennsylvania weather is never consistent. You never know what to prepare for.
Wow.
So you always have your umbrella, you always have your t-shirt, you always have your sunblock, you always have your sweatshirt and your hat and your muck boots, and you always have them with you at all times because you never know what the day is going to turn into.
Wow.
So yeah, keeps you on your toes. So
Yes. How is it with the horses then in the yard? Is it very muddy? And so when you
well,
have
we got
this
hit with a
weather?
lot of the rain from the hurricanes that were coming from the south. So when hurricanes are happening in the south, we get the rain. And so we had buckets and buckets of rain. So it was getting muddy. And then because we have rehabbers, we can't turn them out in the mud because,
Mm.
one wrong step. So we do have an indoor that we rotate the horses into so that they can stretch their legs. We can the stalls get cleaned several times a day. Then when they have to do that, we just keep them on rotation. But
Okay.
because then it gets very hot and windy, it dries up pretty fast.
Yes. Okay.
And we do a lot of grit. So we bring the tractor comes and we keep a grit here and we just spread it through and put it in front of the gates and inside a little bit so it controls the mud.
Mm.
So the horses will walk through and it's good
Okay.
for the race horses. They have to learn how to run in the mud. So
Yeah.
get through. But the babies love it.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you have it always, it's not so good for their
Yeah,
legs. Uh,
yeah. So there's a lot of hosing. It's a lot of indoor turnout if we need to, or rotation of the fields. Like we'll shut some fields down and move them to another field. We are 40 acres of preserved land. So we're agriculturally preserved, so you can't develop around us and everything like that. And so we have several, the way my father built this, he has several paddocks and fields and everything. So we'll shut a lot of stuff down and rotate around so that the horses have a good field to go into.
mm. What happened with you? You told that you have uh, thoroughbreds coming in.
Mhm.
Do you ride them and sell them later, or you keep them, or what happened with them?
So my father is an owner as well. But we do rehab. We will
Yeah.
rehab and pull out the babies. Um, if we, and because we're with them from the time they're here to the time they're ready to leave, we do advocate for them and we go, all right, this horse does not want to be here. It wants to run. It doesn't,
Mm.
it has the heart. It want to continue to run. Let it run. We have a lot of thoroughbreds that come in here just to like reset and they're absolutely
Okay.
miserable. They want to constantly be running.
Mm.
And then there's others where we're like, hey, let this horse be done. Let us find, we'll offer to find a home to put them in and continue rehabbing them and put them home. Sometimes that bites us in the butt because then we're footing that bill. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. We want these horses to have a better life. My dad often, he will always retire his horses prior to that. He likes his horses having a second life. He doesn't
Mm.
like to run his horses down. He will not do that. He will do what's best mentally and physically for the horse. So, I mean, I grew up oftentimes, his horses had the best vet care, the best food, and we were living on off of spaghetti for a week because
Mm.
that's the life.
Yeah.
The horses work for you, they take care of you. We got to take care of them, and
Yeah.
so he wants them to have a good life after, whether that be jumpers or hunters or just like wherever we feel these horses. I mean, heck, we have some thoroughbreds that do a beautiful lope, and so we're like put them out in the Western world. But we'll always try to advocate for these horses and get them to retire so that they have a second chance. And we work with a lot of organizations too. And my personal lesson horses were either given to the program or rescued as well, including the goats and the donkeys and everything. We really
You
try.
have that as well.
Yeah, the kids talk me into a lot, but like we had a lot of like minis and goats and ponies and donkeys that were rescued, and they're great
Ooh.
for the program. They all have a job. They all love what they do. We have a lot of kids with anxiety, and my little Jiminy, my standard donkey, um, the kids know they just go in there and they can hold on to his head and just cry for 45 minutes, and he'll stand there.
Oh.
He'll let you just, and even if you can't cry, he'll get it out of you. Something about the sweetness of this donkey, he will just let you hold him and you pet him, and all of a sudden you just, whatever you held back, it just comes out. And he was from a lot of people like to get donkeys and ponies as little lawn ornaments and don't realize you can't let them eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. That you have to really monitor what they eat. So he came from a cave. He has all these like just, we call them fat tumors. And they're all over his neck, all over his body. He'll always have them. He lost a lot of weight, but he came from that case. And then we call him his wife because at summer camp they did get married. He wore a tuxedo. The pony wore a wedding dress. They got married. She came from the same case. She was 130 pounds overweight, and she's just a hair shy of being a mini. 130 pounds overweight. They had to glue horseshoes in her on her because she couldn't handle nails on the horseshoe because she was so severely overweight. So she was rescued, and they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to take her, and I said, of course. And she's absolutely wonderful. So I would say these rescue horses, they know they've been rescued, and they love their job, and they're the absolutely most wonderful. I call them my business partners, the most wonderful business partners I could ever ask
Mm.
for. They take care of my kids. They make my kids work. They don't do the job for them, but they take care of them until the kids can figure out what they're asking them to do.
Mhm.
And so I'm very extremely grateful for that.
That's great. And you were
Yeah.
talking about veterans as well.
Mhm. So we work with a local organization called Battleborn, It's ran by Chris Yarnell. He's an absolutely wonderful gentleman. He's a veteran himself. And he started this organization to be like a peer-to-peer veteran organization. Because a lot of organizations around here that are for veterans. So if you're a homeless veteran, once you find a home, you're no longer in that program. If you're a veteran struggling with addiction, once you're out of addiction, you're out of the program. Battleborn is a peer-to-peer, meaning it's always there for you. If you need help with some bills, they find a way to help you with that. If you need help, like it's just a constant peer group where you're never out of it. You're in it when you want to be in it, and it's for the camaraderie and to talk and to do therapy. And they come here during the warmer months, usually like March through September, because the winter could be a little too hard for them physically. And they come and they bring their families with them, their children, their spouses, their partners, and they kind of bond with the horse. They groom. We put them on and walk them around and really get them involved. We're currently trying to work on getting a larger indoor for all the kids and the veterans, so we have more room. Our indoor is very small. One horse I have in particular really bonds with the veterans is my personal horse, Avery. He's a one-eyed halflinger. He lost his eyeball, and that's how I got him. They didn't, because he lost his eyeball, they wanted to rehome him. So I was like, I'll take him. One eye doesn't bother me. Um, and when the veterans come and they see that he lost an eye, and that's how I got him, because they didn't want him anymore. He lost his eye. They really connect with that, because that's what happens to a lot of veterans around here. We take and take and take and take from the veterans here, and then we just throw them away. The health care they get is absolutely horrendous. The care and respect they get here is absolutely horrendous. And so they really seem to connect with like Avery and my rescues here, because they see that something happened to them, and after they're done their jobs, something happens and they were just thrown away. And they really connect with that. And I think it helps them a lot recover emotionally, physically, mental, everything. So
a big connection. Oh, that is fantastic. How do you get the time to sit here with me today?
I don't know, because my 10 o'clock lesson had to come yesterday, so it worked out perfect. Because we have a good mix of homeschool kids, cyber kids, and traditional school kids. So we're usually running 10 to, like tonight, my last lesson ends at 9:30 at night. So I used to teach 7 days a week. I was able to get them into 6. So I teach 6 days a week, and then we do the birthday parties and the events and stuff. But a lot of planning, a lot of organization. And I realize as you get older, help is okay. Help is okay. If you ask for help, it helps. And that's why I love the barn rat. It's a struggle when they first learn how to do the job, but it helps. Like I always say, the saddest time of my life is that first week when everyone goes back to school. It's so quiet because you have all summer. It's crazy. It's loud. It's kids are running everywhere. And that first week of quiet is the most saddest week ever, because you miss that. You miss the kids. You miss the laughter. You miss the ridiculous things they come up with. And you miss that. And so, asking for help, even my adult students, when they ask for help, it's more for them than for me. Like a lot of these adults are going through it too. And when they say, can I sweep? Or they're not in your way, let them sweep. Because when them asking you to sweep or them dumping buckets, it's more for them at the end of the day. They need to be by themselves and just do something and be in this common
clear their
energy
brain.
Of the horse. The horses naturally give you this peace. And so it's like, and I never understood that, why a lot of the barns are pushing away from that. It not only does it help you, these people need this quietness. They need that just medial, just let me just dump a bucket, let me just sweep, but just let me breathe in the hay, let me breathe in the calm, the tranquility and everything. Let me breathe that in. And they need that as well. So, I'm very lucky. And, as I said, like when you get older, you get more humble. You take that help. Can't just do it all. And, I'm very grateful for that. Now,
Yeah,
if they find a stall cleaner Monday through Friday, that would be great. But, we struggle with that. But,
yeah,
I take the help where I can get it. And I'm so grateful for the students are absolutely incredible. The veterans, the parents. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better group. They're absolutely the
yeah.
most wonderful human beings.
And as you said, it's all about be organized, so they can help in the right places.
Yeah.
Mm.
You got to write everything down. And you get the same thing with ask this same respect. I was getting a lot, and I have one parent who's very, very, very techie. And so she helps a lot with like the spreadsheets for the shows and everything. And, I have another mom that keeps everyone in line going because we do our own horse shows here. She kept the ball rolling, kept everything smooth. That took a big thing off my plate. And, just knowing how to organize and knowing that you can't do everything. If somebody doesn't say, "Can I help?" They're not doing it to be played. They will offer help. Take it.
Mm. Yeah.
Don't feel like you need everything, because every time I see on Facebook all these like on the instructor pages and everything is, I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm burned out. I want to close down. I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm burnt. It's because you cannot have an ego. You have to be humble.
Mm.
Ask for help. Ask, hey, I have one parent who's very good at like cricket. It's like t-shirts, logo, like posters,
Mhm.
all that.
Yeah.
So if I don't have time to do so, because she's always offered.
Mm.
So I say, if you're gonna offer, I'm gonna take it, and she helps a lot. Um, but you got to be able to, yeah, that if somebody's offering to help, take the help.
Mhm.
And the other thing with ego is you cannot take 6,000 students. I cannot take every single student in this county. And I don't know where you're from, but here, the horse world, a lot of ego, a lot of bad talk, a lot of running your mouth and saying bad things. Even a trainer you never met. And my thing is, I feel you cannot teach every child in the county. So why would you badmouth another? There's another instructor that's down the street who's a great instructor. Don't badmouth them. Your chemistry is not going to work with every single human being you meet in your life.
No.
So why can't you say, you know what? This person's very good. Why don't you try them? We're not doing what maybe this person's great. Or somebody asked me for a because if I'm too full and I can't take any more students, I will recommend several other barns that I know the instructor is very good.
Mm.
They they're they will teach these kids. They're not going to put them on a merry-go-round where you just go show up, get on, and go in a circle. They're good instructors. I don't understand that point of bad talking somebody,
No.
because I physically cannot teach every single human being in my county.
Mm.
So I feel like that also comes back and bites you in the butt. Every person you talk bad about, three more are talking bad about you. So it doesn't need, the ugliness doesn't need to be spread. And that's what I would love to be nipped in the bud in this horse world, is the bad talk. Unless
Mm.
somebody is beating children and horses,
Yes.
there's no
Then
reason
then they get
to be,
out.
yeah. But the the egos and thinking everyone's better than everybody, or like work together. A lot of farmers here do work together, and I'm very appreciative of that, because we know times are tough and everybody's bouncing off each other and helping each other, and you know and that's really what I would love to see, is more helping and less just call it trash talk, and less trash talk, and just,
Mhm.
if you don't like somebody, all you do is stay quiet. If anything, that says more than anything.
Mm.
If you have nothing to say, that says more than anything.
Yeah.
You don't need to say anything negative.
No.
There's enough negativity. So,
Yeah. Just turn up on your TV, then it comes.
hmm yeah. So I support each other, and ask for help, be humble. Like,
Mm.
that's the best advice I give. Like I said, I was born into this. I've been doing this for a long time, and that's the best advice I give to anyone going into this business, is stay humble, accept all the education you can learn. You do
Mhm.
not know everything. You
No.
will never know everything. And that's what I tell all my students too.
Mhm.
You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. Your partner has its own brain. You're going to have 6 years of the best riding and 6 years of the worst riding.
Mm.
That could happen.
Yeah.
And you're never going to master this. This is not a sport where you're going to master, because every animal will teach you a new thing that you did not know about.
Mm.
And so, like, just always being up for education, knowing you don't know everything, always being humble, and don't put more negativity out in the world. That's how you're going to avoid burnout. And that's how you're going to avoid people
Yeah,
ruining.
of,
Just
of course. When you
stay in your
get
path.
the help and this positivity, you build up your energy again.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
And that's the best advice I could give, because I always see these posts that these people barely been in the business and they're already burned out, or
Mm.
they don't know what to do. And unfortunately, the other last thing is you're going to have the thickest skin in the world.
Mm.
Because as long as, just because I believe not to run your mouth and say negative things, doesn't mean somebody else has that same belief. And they, people will go at you. But you can't control other people's emotions. You can't control other people's attitudes. If they want to
No.
believe that, they believe that. So having a very, very, very thick skin is
Mm.
what's going to help you as well.
Yeah.
You just can't take anything personal. Everyone's going through their own actions. Everyone
Mm.
interprets things the way they want to interpret. Just like what I see is not the same thing as you see. Everyone sees things differently and interprets things differently. So just have thick skin and just know you did what you thought was right or what was best.
Mm.
You just have to move on. And
Yeah.
that comes with age and time in this business.
Mm.
You'll develop it. So
And as you said, as long as you are nice to other people and nice to the horses, then
mhm.
yeah, then it's good.
Yeah. Like I say, I don't care what you believe in, what you think. Like, as long as you have respect, you're
Mm.
nice, you respect that. I don't care. I don't like. I'm not going to say anything bad about you.
No.
So, and that's what I think more people in the industry need to do. Is just, you can't teach everybody. You can't take every border. You just got to be humble. Somebody else, everyone, there's always going to be somebody better than you. Like that's what you
Always.
have to remember.
Yes.
There's always going to be somebody better. You're going to
Yeah.
be better at something than somebody else, and somebody's going to be better at something else than you are.
Mm.
And you just have to learn how to support each other, especially as, like I said, hay, grain, everything's getting more expensive. Everyone needs to help each other out.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of us are helping. Like, some people say, "Hey, do you have grain?" Or we have sheep here. Some people say, like, there's a lot of barter. Like, if I do this, can I have a sheep? Like, I need a feed. Like, I need food. You
Mm.
know, that's what, like, we'll always do that. We'll always try the best, as much as help as we can do.
It's the best way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if people will like to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
So I'm at bluemooneq.org. Again, I'm not tech yet, still working on my website. My Facebook's a lot more. And we're Blue Moon Equestrian in Pennsylvania, because apparently there's a Blue Moon Equestrian down south as well. So we're Blue Moon Equestrian, Pennsylvania. And then all my teens got me into Instagram and TikTok. So they're in charge of that. And I think it's Blue Moon Equestrian _PA. So, and the kids love it. Like, I have my 112-year-old here. She has so much talent in photography. And when I gave her, like, hey, go, when I supported her photography, she just lit up, like, being acknowledged that she has real talent in this. And
Mhm.
she did an amazing job on her TikTok and everything. So, so you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and online. And we hope that everyone supports and shares our stuff and shares our events. Even if you're not around here, if you have family that's in Pennsylvania, just share us. And because all the events help the local businesses, or helps the event, whatever we have an event for. Because we also do a lot of charity stuff. So in November, we collect winter clothes. We collect food in December. And then once a year, we do a decency drive where we collect feminine products that we donate to a women's shelter. So anytime
Oh,
you go on, share our stuff, that helps, because the feminine products here are extremely expensive. So we do a lot of collections so that we could donate them to school districts that in the lower economic area because the girls can't. They often I just found out they often miss school because they don't have feminine products, so they don't go to school. So we're going to be donating a lot of our decency drive this year to those school districts so that the girls can go to school, get educated, and feel comfortable.
Wow.
So if you go on our
How do you
Facebook and
do
share all
that?
that.
Do you have some competitions, or you show the horses, or how do you collect?
So the decency drive, we do a post, and the community, because we've done it so many years, they get really involved. They're really supportive. That they share like crazy. They drop off, and when you drop off, we always allow go walk the property, go see all the animals. We do that, but we do competitions for the clothing drive, the food drive, or we'll do sometimes we'll do a special where it's like for every bag you do, you win a raffle ticket to earn like a big prize and stuff like that. So we do different competitions, and all that's always posted on our Facebook page as well.
Mm,
So we try to
wow.
get involved in the community as much as we can.
Yeah, that's great. Great, great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all this. I reckon you must go out to your horses again.
Yeah, I gotta start turning out and doing some treatments and everything, getting them all ready
Yes,
to go. And stalls, always stalls. So
yes, yes. So
I really
thank you.
appreciate. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I was saying thank you
Oh,
so much for inviting me. This has been absolutely wonderful.
thank you so much for being here. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of you who have listened to this or seen it. So please subscribe on this channel. It means a lot for us to carry on with subscriptions. So thank you very much for today and for your time. And I hope I see you soon again. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Bye bye.